Hey, what's up, Jacek from Filmmaker's VFX Guide here. In this lesson I'll show you how to easily, in 5 steps, create this trail effect. So let's jump in. We have a footage of woman running in the field. It's nothing complicated, but we have a 3D movement and we would like for the effect to work properly with that. First of all, the thing I did was separate the runner on a separate layer using the roto brush. In fact, we don't need to be really precise. You may have noticed that, for example, right here, it's really sloppy job. But in fact, all we need is a front edge of our subject because we need our original runner to run in front of the clones. You know how to use roto brush. It's really simple. And if you happen to have the experimental beta version of After Effects, you have the ROTOBrush 2.0, more power to you. You can also use a mask, doesn't really matter. Let's turn off the roto of the runner. So first thing we have to do is track 3D camera in our footage. So as you might probably know, the best way to track your footage is to mask out any moving subjects. So let's do that. I already have it pre-composed, so let's enter the pre-composition and create a rough mask. And by rough, I mean really rough. Set it to none for now, hit M, keyframe the mask path, let's see how long she stays inside. Right about here, make a keyframe. Looks good. And that's it. Change it to subtract, go back to our previous composition and add the 3D camera tracker effect. I'm gonna check the detailed analysis right away. Our track is completed, so you can now go into the pre-comp and disable the mask. So now we want to pick a point in time where we will freeze our subject. So let's maybe do it somewhere here. When she's in the air, right click and click Create Null and the camera. And at the same time, grab a marker and drag it over that frame. That would be our first clone. Let's go a little bit forward, and that seems like a proper place to do the second one. Right click, create null, grab a marker, and that's it. So now we want to duplicate our footage twice. We can delete the 3D camera tracker on both of them. Name one further, second one is close. Click on the close one, hit Alt and close bracket, go to second marker, click on the further one, Alt, close bracket. That way we trim the composition in such a way that it lasts only up until this point. So let's turn on the further composition for now. Let's click on the one named close. Keep in mind we're still on the first marker. Right click, time, freeze frame. Let's go to the second one, right click, time, freeze frame. So now there are a few ways to go about it. We could bring it to Photoshop and extract her, but because it's a still frame, we can easily use the roto brush and it shouldn't be a big problem. So let's click on the roto brush, double click on our layer and paint her in. I think that's good enough. Within the propagation settings, check favor current edges, because sometimes After Effects decides it's a great idea to move these edges. Change the search radius to 0 or 1 and it won't be jumping around as much. Yeah, that's perfect. So change the propagation region so it goes all the way to the beginning and move our playhead to the beginning. Let it calculate. It should be really quick because it's a still frame. After it's done, click on freeze and make yourself a nice cup of tea. Okay, so that's done. We can turn it off. Let's turn on the composition name further. Let's go to the second marker and let's do exactly the same thing. So let's open the roto brush, double click on the layer and paint our subject in. Seems like it's good. Click on the propagation, change search radius to 1, change to favor current edges, change the propagation region all the way to the beginning and move the playhead. After it's done calculating, hit the freeze once again. Close the rotoscoping view. So now we have this. So now let's rename our nulls. Name this one further, this one close. Perfect. Make both cutouts. 3D, go to the close one, press P for position, same with the null, and copy the null position to the position of the layer. Do exactly the same thing with the further one, so copy the null position and paste it to the further layer. So it's cool and all, but it doesn't really look like it's supposed to. So here's the trick that makes it all. Go to the marker of the according layer. Since we are on the pre-contained close, we are on marker number 1. Add corner pin effect. By the way, pro tip, if you hold Alt and scroll, you zoom in exactly where your cursor is, but if you just scroll your mouse, you will zoom into the center. So that's actually quite useful here. Hold Alt and scroll to the left corner as close as you can. And now you can either grab this left corner and place it exactly on the corner as precisely as you can, or just get close to the corner, click on upper right and click on the corner. So now you should see the first clone be in sync exactly with our runner. Perfect. Now go to the second marker, add corner pin and do exactly the same thing. So all that's left now is to turn on our rotoscoped layer. It's not 3D, it's a standard 2D. So let's see how it looks. Awesome. A minor tweak, because we froze our layer with a freeze frame, we also froze the noise, so you can add the noise effect to like, I don't know, 3%. Not that it's noticeable right now, but I think it's a good practice in general. Remember about that noise. But yeah, that's our effect. That's it. If you guys are interested in more detailed After Effects course, I created one specifically for filmmakers wanting to learn visual effects. The link should be in the description below, you can go check it out. But meanwhile, that's it. Hit me up with any questions you may have and I'll see you in the next one.